Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Factory Podcast. What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Burn Factory Podcast. As you may know, I'm your host, Priest, joined by my co-host, my brother, Mr. Phenix. Say what's up to the camera.
What's up, y'all?
This is called the Burn Factory for a reason. I was literally caught on fire. 50% chance to live. 50% chance to live. But through that, started this podcast because I believe every person out there on this planet goes through a burn moment somewhere in their life that got them to where they are at today.
Yes, you heard Priest say burn moment. So a burn moment is a really hard time in someone's life that you have to fight and to get through to be where you are today. Me and Priest believe that every single person go through burn moments every single day that help build them to where they are today. But Priest, man, do we have a guest today?
We have
a guest today. Our guest has truly lived a burn moment life, from being cut by the UFC to a two-time flyweight champion. He's the first ever Mexican-born UFC champion. In 2021, he was the breakout fighter of the year. He also won 2021 Fight of the Year versus Davidson Figueiredo, and recently just won back his UFC flyweight strap that is rightfully his.
Let's go.
So please give a warm welcome to the assassin baby champ, Brandon Moreno.
Let's go. Bravo.
Bravo. Listo.
Oh, my goodness.
So, where's the Legos?
Man, we don't, right. Do you know what is crazy right now, brother? Right now, I'm so crazy busy, and I don't have the time to build it. So I have like a lot of closed boxes in my office waiting for me. So every single time when I have a little time, I try to do it. But right now, my life is too much.
Too crazy.
But I love it to do it. You do it again? You do it before?
Yeah. Not as much now. When we were little, I did Legos.
I built an airplane.
Okay.
One time. Didn't go so well. Let's just say that. But I mean, you have thousands of Legos. I mean, I've seen it on Instagram. Out of all those Legos, what is your favorite one?
So my favorite one is do you like Marvel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I built last year, if I remember, I built the Daily Bugle from Spider-Man.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he works for the newspaper. It's all the building. It's very cool. I don't remember how many pieces are that Lego set, but it's a lot. You know, it's too much Lego pieces, but I love it. And it's crazy because so everything is. I started to build Legos when I was in Tijuana. And my home there was like small. I don't have like enough room for all my sets. So then I moved here to Vegas, and you know I got a little bit more space. But man, now maybe the next step is to get another home, a bigger one, hopefully.
And Vegas
just for
too?
your Legos.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, Vegas for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
Vegas
okay.
for sure. Right now, I feel like I'm doing really good things here in Vegas. I'm starting to build a little and a small but amazing team with my training partners, my coaches, and we are doing something great things here in Vegas. So yeah, for sure, the next home will be here.
How crucial is it for you to like have like that small knit circle? Because you see UFC fighters now, they belong to these huge teams, ATT, all these crazy teams, and now you have your own little circle. So is it good for you?
You have a good question, because I mean I have a lot of respect for the big teams. I mean, like I don't know, like American Top Team is a very successful team, right? They had in some point like a lot of champions there. It's crazy how they can manage I don't know, like 40, 50, 60 fighters at the same time. Obviously, you need a good system to try to do that. But I was in a huge team before and a big team before, and that works for me. But in some point, I decided to try to find something different. So I bring a few training partners to live here in Vegas with me. I have my coaches, and every single training session is like a private training session, and everything works for me. If my training partners has a fight, the coaches work for them. But everything is very specific. Just a few people, and the coaches can be more focused in develop all your skills for yourself.
For sure. What big gym were you at before?
I mean, it was in Mexico, in Tijuana.
Okay.
Anthem Gym. Right now is very huge. They have like 40, 50 fighters right there. I started there. I started training there in 2006. I was a kid, 12 years old, and I was chubby, I was finishing my elementary school, and I decided to start to do something, because always after the school was like, I finish the school, I go to home, eat, and then grab some, I don't know, like Oreo cookies, whatever, go to my room and start to play video games, start to watch TV, Dragon Ball Z, whatever. So, I don't know, at some point I was like done with that life, and I decided to do some exercise, to practice some sport.
Didn't your mom enroll you into that camp too? Didn't your mom enroll you into that camp too?
Sometimes, but no, because they, normally they have a family company. Right,
okay.
in my home. The company is in my home, actually. They have a little warehouse behind the home, like a little store. They have a piñata business.
Yeah.
So I grow up watching them like working so hard every day, and they are. It's crazy because they born like very poor, but they make the piñata business, and then start to grow up with the business, and they start to get a better life. So they are very poor, but when I start to grow up too, everything was fine. They gave me an amazing life. I don't have like any concerns about it.
That kind of leads us into our acronym. So we use the acronym BURN. So each letter is like a little different time in your life. So B does stand for beginning. You're talking about your childhood, but what were some of those like burn moments that you had as a child that you had to go through, or else you wouldn't be sitting here today?
To be honest with you, I think my burn moments start like later, when I'm started to be by myself. And for example, when I got my daughter, because when I was a child, everything was kind of easy. I don't want to say I was rich, because now is not the case, hopefully. But I mean, I never had like a really problems or necessities. I always had like food in my table. I got like good gifts in Christmas, whatever, But I think when I start to see my future, because I remember this, I was very young, and I decided to be a fighter. And it's weird because, you are 16, 17, and maybe you're not thinking too much about the future. Like, let's see what happens. Just let's get fun. And yeah, I was a child. I was getting fun. But at the same time, I was start to get more and more love for the sport, But I married very young with my wife. Right now, she's still my wife. She passed with a lot of bad moments with me, so that's why I love her. But we got our first daughter. I had 20 years old, and everything started to change. And I'm jumping moments, but I mean, you told me about the burn moments. Everything started like that because I remember before my daughter, in my mind, I was a kid. I love to do stupid jokes or whatever, just enjoying life. But when I was in the hospital and the nurse take me to the place with all the babies, and I saw my daughter there, something happened in my mind, like something exploded, like fuck, like this is serious, this is real. Like now it's not just me. Now it's not like whatever happens in the future. Now I need to get success, because if I don't get success, my wife, my daughter don't get success too. So that changed my mind for sure.
100%. Was there, going back to whenever you were a kid, was there a certain person that made you want to fight?
No. So, for example, I had a neighbor who he was practicing karate. regular career. And one day I went to his home to sleep there with him, playing video games, eat junk food, and then go to the bed. So before that, I went to one of his practice, and I saw, all the discipline, the respect, the gi. I don't know how you say in English. Gi, right?
Yeah, gi,
The gi
yeah.
for karate. The belts, the colors of the belts. Be very respectful in the moment when you step on the mat. Be very respectful with the coach, the professor, and all that stuff. And that's why I decided to do combat sports, because I wanted to do sports. But that's why I think I decided to go for combat sports. So next day I went with my mom, like, hey mom, I wanna do something. I wanna do some exercise. I wanna do some sport, to do something after the school, because I'm done to just go to my room, watch TV, play video games, and eat cookies. That's it for me. So first of all, I tried to practice capoeira. I don't know if you never played this video game Tekken.
Taken?
Yeah, it's a fight video game.
Never
I
heard
don't
of it.
think so.
No,
No.
man, it's
Oh.
amazing.
We'll have to try it out though.
We should.
It's a new one coming soon.
Oh, really?
The Tekken 8 is really good.
Taken. They made 7 of them.
Yep.
Oh my
Man,
God.
it's in a really famous video game.
Yeah.
It's really cool. I started to play that video game when it's the PlayStation 1. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I remember like the little Nintendos. Did you ever play those?
Yes,
Like
of course.
Nintendos.
Hold,
that was
you are
like a-
16?
I'm 16.
You are
19.
19?
19,
Okay.
yeah.
Because I feel like we're at a different season, but it's fine.
I know. We're a
all
little
messed
young.
up, and yeah.
Yeah. But so like back to what you're saying, you started out as MMA was just exercise for you, but
Yeah.
what was that point that you're like, you know what, maybe I could make a career out of this?
So going a little bit back, so we don't find nothing about capoeira in Tijuana. I don't remember if my mom doesn't find like any place, or the place was bad. I don't know. But we find the mixed martial art gym. And everything was crazy. And in that moment, I don't know nothing about jiu-jitsu, about wrestling, kickboxing, whatever. But everything was nice because the how you say in English, the billboard, the spectacular,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the sign.
looks very, very cool,
Sign,
with
yeah.
with the cage and the blood and all this stuff. Like, oh, okay. And the name was in that moment the people talk about mixed martial art as vale todo.
Ballet todo.
Vale todo is obviously is in Spanish, but that means in English like everything is permitted, like kind of.
Like it's good. Like
No. How you say, like you can do everything.
oh, okay. So like no like restrictions.
No
almost,
restrictions, kind of.
Yeah. Okay.
So that was crazy, and I start to do it, but I start to see all the discipline, all
Yeah.
the respect, all the hard work you need to do to improve your skills. So I'm start 12. I start my amateur career at 14. I had a long amateur career. I had 3 years as an amateur, and I got a lot of success. Then I decided to do my professional debut in Tijuana at 17 years old. And that's it, man. I started to just love the sport. In some point, I was my how you say, my qualification in the school. I
Oh,
was
certifications?
No, like what is it
my
called?
results in the school.
Oh, okay,
Start
yeah,
to go
like your
very
grades.
My grades start to
yeah.
go very down
Yeah.
because I mean, the regular kids who say like, start to put a lot of excuses. I don't like the school because that. But I mean, I was being really honest with my parents. Hey, I don't like this. I prefer to be in the gym all day.
Yeah.
So I was putting all my effort to be better in the sport.
At 12?
No. I mean, with the time.
Oh, okay. As time came on.
I started at 12. I started my amateur career at 14, and then at 17 I did my professional debut. I don't know, like around 18, 19. I say like, you know what? I want to do this.
This is
That's cool.
What was the name of the fight league where you had your first professional fight?
It's a local league in Tijuana, UWC. I started there. I had 3 fights there, and then I started to fight in the United States, actually in California. Okay. I fought the first fight I had in California was in Riverside.
Okay.
Yeah, I fought in Riverside. I fought in Pomona.
Okay.
Yeah, between them. Then I went to Albuquerque, New Mexico for the developer program from the UFC. I went there to Jackson's MMA. A lot of fighters from there, like John Jones.
Yeah, John Jones was there.
In that moment was Kobe Cerrone, Diego Sanchez, and another guys, John Dodson. So yes, I was there for 5 months. Then I came back. All my training partners from Latin America, because it was a developer programs, right? Like 12 guys from Latin America, UFC paid them to come to the United States and train, and develop all the abilities of the fighters. So I was part of the 12 guys. I stayed there by 5 months. Then the other guys, because they are like older than me, in that moment I had 20 years old. So all my training partners went to the Ultimate Fighter Latin America, the first season. But because I had 20 years old and they have a lot of sponsors of alcohol and that stuff, I wasn't permitted to go there.
Yeah.
So I came back to Tijuana, and then some guy got fights for me in Arizona, in Phoenix. Phoenix, Tucson. Yeah, between Phoenix and Tucson. I keep doing more fights there.
So as an early pro, like as you turned pro that early, like your early fights, was it a lot of like bouncing around promotions, or did you just kind of stick to one like promotion? Like
no, in that moment was because it was the only professional league in my hometown.
Oh, it was with.
I don't have option, and it
Yeah.
was like, if you wanna fight, the only fights are there
okay.
in that league, so that's why.
Did you have dreams making it to the UFC at that point?
Oof, good question. My first goal was to make a good record. So I always try to put some targets in my life. I think in short period, my first goal was to make a nice record, because when I started to be a professional, I was very young. I had a really good technique, but I was very young, and I was fighting against guys like stronger than me, bigger than me, with better body, whatever. So in that point, when the guys has a good level, the strength, the power is important too. Because you hear this, the technique is more important than the strength. And that's true when the other guy doesn't know nothing. But when two guys know the same, those small difference, make the difference. Okay?
Which is, it's crazy now, because I feel like every year, like the UFC, like are bringing in these younger and younger guys. And you look at Raul Rosas now, he's 18, fighting against 25, 26-year-olds. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah, I mean, he's my training partner, Raul, and it's insane how good he is. Like, he's very tough. I mean, to be honest with you, I think he needs a little bit more time to start to think about championships or whatever. But I mean, he has the time. He has all the time in front of him. He just needs to be patient. He just needs to be very open mind and start to get more experience, and that's it. But I mean, if the guy keeps the same way, he will be champion for sure.
Do you think he'll be champion by 20? How
What do you say?
So
18,
right now he's 18.
22. Do you think he'll be champion by the time he's 22?
Oof. 22. 4 years?
Yeah, 4 years.
Terrible in math. Sorry.
Me too. Me too. I'm awful at math. 4 years.
4 years. Maybe, man. If not champion, maybe
Close.
very close. Like fighting against top 10, top 5 opponents.
We were actually at his last fight. It was here in Vegas,
Yes.
December 10th. And I'll never forget, I was sitting in the stands and I was like, I like this kid. This kid has something about him that I like, and it reminds me of Brandon Moreno. And I was like, yep. He'll be champion one day. No, 100%. So.
Yeah, man. I mean, if he keeps the same path, I mean, he will be champion for sure. And he has this crazy confidence on himself. Like, he grabbed the mic and, hey, I want to do this and this and this, and everybody listens. So that's an important skills. I think even me, I don't have that skill to show to the people, but I mean, he's the full package for sure.
Confidence is key in fighting. I mean, you saw with McGregor and Jones and DC, and these guys just go on these crazy tears, and Confidence is key. Same with golf. In golf, you can't go into a tournament not confident because then you're going to play bad. I'm sure you can't go into a fight not confident because you're going to make these mistakes and end up getting caught and all she wrote.
Yeah, I mean, you need to be calm in uncomfortable moments, right? Obviously, I don't know too much about golf, but I mean, when you start to go to higher levels, you need to be just calm when you feel all the pressure. I mean, right now, for example, every single fight, I have 2 years in a row fighting for titles.
Yeah.
So, man, always the pressure is more and more and more. And, man, you need to keep calm and you need to feel the pressure, but at the same time, like, manage that pressure well because, I mean, it's hard. It's hard.
What's a burn moment? What's like a good burn moment and trying to keep yourself being calm in those situations?
Like kind of like every single time, for example, like
Yeah, or like a fight. Like whenever you're in the back room and you're just like, man, I'm starting to feel the pressure of this fight. What do you do? Like, what's a burn moment that you know what? I'm gonna stay calm. Like,
so I just you know what? I just trying to listen to myself. And I remember this before to got caught from the UFC. I was trying to enjoy the moment, to enjoy the pressure in the locker room. For example, I was trying to fake a smile, and I say fake because you know what? You feel so nervous. You feel even scared.
Mm-hmm.
You know, man. Since this moment, I feel scared in every single of my fights. But I was trying to smile to the people, to try to make them feel better. I don't know why, because I mean, in that moment, it's my moment. I just want to make me feel good myself. But you know, and I was going like that to the fight, and that works in some point. But when I start to fight with higher level opponents, that stop to work for me.
mm-hmm.
It's crazy because being like an outsider watching your fights, you look so calm in them.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I think I managed very well all the pressure, you know?
Yeah.
100%.
But I mean, every single, each moment I manage the moment different. So like I think that's my first season in the UFC. So the second season, after to go back to the UFC, I put this kind of character, like Matt, Brandon Moreno, like no more smile,
Killer.
nothing. I was going like very angry to the octagon, right, to the fight, and that works in some point too because I start to win fights and win fights and win fights. I remember my first fight against Kai Kara France. Man, in that moment I was on fire, man. My mind was like, man, I want to kill this guy. You know, I want to kill this guy because I need to show to the people I deserve to be here. You know, I need to show to the crowd, to the fans, to everybody. I mean, I'm a real fighter. No, I'm not just a casualty in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. And then I think my next evolution is, I don't know, be just like stoic, like neutral. My last fight in Rio de Janeiro, man, was
Crazy.
was insane, man. I mean,
Throwing beers at you as you're leaving.
I know you are like huge UFC fans, so definitely you saw my last fight.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody was insane, screaming against me. You know, I was in Brazil. Figueiredo is
That
Brazilian.
chant.
Everybody was against me, saying, "You're gonna die" in Portuguese.
yeah.
Vamos morrer.
That's what it is.
Vamos morrer.
I never knew what it was, but I knew it was like, you will die. You will die.
But man, and a lot of people asking me about that moment. Like, hey, how you feel? Like, I don't feel nothing.
Do you even hear anything?
I hear everything, but
You do?
in my mind, I was repeating what they say. Like, I was getting fun, man. I was getting fun, but my face was neutral. Like,
Yeah.
I don't care, man. And in the middle of the fight, I hear the people screaming against me again, but I was neutral,
Yeah.
stoic.
So talk about that fight a little bit. In the second round, like he got you in a guillotine and it was pretty tight. So, what was that like kind of like burn moment in that guillotine? Like, did you like start to panic at all or were you just staying calm? Like, well, was it close? Like, how tight was it?
No, man, it wasn't.
No.
It wasn't tight.
Nah. I mean, it was tight, but I don't know, because I have a regular neck. You know, these fighters who like looks like they don't have neck like this. I have a regular neck and everything, but I always been like very good, escaping from guillotines. I don't know why. I'm always very calm in those positions, fighting my hands, breathing very well and everything. So yeah, for sure. In some point, the guy was trying to like pull my neck out, but I like you say, I was just trying to keep myself calm and stay relaxed and be patient. In that kind of positions, the one of the keys is like be patient. Don't get like desperate, because if in the moment when you start to, is when you are maybe out. So I just keep calm, and the guy take off the guillotine, take my neck out, and I start to put control on him. And man, that last fight, it isn't safe to think about it, because the first three ones, the fights were like crazy wars, right? Like in exchanges, scrambles.
The first one.
My face looks horrible. His face looks horrible, and that's it. But in this fourth one, my mind was so calm because I had an amazing training camp. And I want to say amazing training camp, kind of, because I had a lot of troubles in the middle of the training camp, but I always put all my effort to pass all the obstacle on my way. And I have an amazing people around me, and we did it. And I think it was a kind of easy fight for me.
Easy fight. Is he strong? Is he strong, Davidson?
You know what? I mean, he's not stronger than me, but he punched harder than me. It's weird because he looks like very muscular, but talking about the strength, talking about power, I know a lot of fighters who looks like very muscular, but they're not like really, really strong. I mean, like me, you can tell with my training partners or with my coaches, I'm look like terrible. My body is not like, I don't have like any abs. My biceps like very small, whatever. But the people say I'm very strong.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
So I don't care. So that's the thing. I'm stronger than him, but he punched harder than me. So I was needed to be like very careful about the right overhand every single time.
Oh, for sure. I don't think he's as hard as a puncher as you. I mean, in the second fight, you dropped him with a jab and then quickly got him into the rear naked choke and became the first Mexican-born champion.
Right.
Could you even sleep that night after you won the belt?
You know what? I can't sleep every single fight for the adrenaline.
Huh.
It's insane. It's hard to explain too, because you have a lot of emotions. So you wanna spend time with your people around. You are so happy. You are checking social media to watch all the news, the pictures, whatever. You are excited and you are happy. And no, I can't sleep after a fight unless in that one. You know, that moment was special. I remember that moment in Arizona, in Phenix, because first of all, I think it was the first event after, kind of after the pandemic. Not after the pandemic, because the pandemic was there, but it was the first event with crowd.
Yeah.
Live crowd.
With all this mess. So the people feels like excited, like, hey, I miss this feeling to be in the arena with a lot of people screaming, watching fights, live fights, right? And in the moment when I won, man, I promise I can explain.
Yeah.
And you know, Phoenix is a place with a lot of Mexican people. So I was like watching all the Mexican flags around, screaming my name, very excited. The people crying with me. Man, that was very nice.
I'll tell you what, I got goosebumps whenever you won. And whenever Joe Rogan was interviewing in there, I literally almost started crying watching you cry, and just like all this effort and being cut by the UFC to becoming a champion. I mean,
you know what? I mean, remember we were talking about targets and goals in my future? I mean, in that moment, got the title was my long-term goal, man. And I did it. I can't describe the feeling about, because when I went to the UFC the first time, my goal was like, okay, I need to fight here and win fights. Then I start to win fights. Okay, now I want to be in the top 10. I did it actually, I did it, but then I lost 2 in a row. They caught me, whatever. But the goal was the same. Like I want to be in the top 5. And in the moment when I touch the top 5, I say like, okay, now is the time to be the champion. But man, it's a long 10 years journey. Like fighting, sacrificing things, traveling a lot for training, leaving my wife with my daughter in that moment. A lot of hard work, a lot of dedication, but when you can say like I did it, everything means a lot for me.
For sure.
Everything makes sense in that moment.
This portion of the Burn Factory podcast is sponsored by Phenix Salon Suites. Please visit Phenix Salon Suites at PHENIX Salons SALON Suites SUITES.com to find one near you.
It's time to go to you and burn unfortunate. Crazy topic. Like myself, I was burned in a science experiment that went pretty horribly wrong. Didn't know if I was gonna die or not. 50% chance to live, and just life sucked at that moment. Life really sucked at that moment. But I mean, try not to get emotional about this, but as a fighter, I'm sure unfortunate things happen to you that get you to becoming a champion. So why don't you talk about any unfortunate burn moments that happened?
Man, you are a fucking warrior, man. You know, I told you this before. You just started to tell me about your history. You're a survivor, man. So you need to be very happy for that, man. You're a fucking warrior. I'm really impressed, man. Congrats for that.
Thank you.
And what can I say? I mean, I think it's very popular. My history with the people, no, that my 2018 sucks, man. Completely sucks because okay, so I passed from be the main event in my country. So UFC went to Mexico City and I was the main event. I fought against Sergio Perez. And I passed from that to be released from the company, and that's it. Like, okay, let's go. See you later. Maybe in that moment you never know, right? So I had an amazing life in that moment. I got my own property, my own home in Tijuana. I had a new car. I was paying a nice private school for my daughter. You know, I was living an amazing life. But in the moment when that thing happened, you start to understand, like, man, like the life is a roller coaster. You know, the life is a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I mean, right now we are like getting an amazing moment, talking about life, whatever. You know, I'm drinking coffee. I love American coffee, Americano. But man, you don't know what happened tomorrow, and you need to live like thinking about it. But at the same time, you wanna keep enjoying life because you don't wanna start to think about, oh, maybe I'm gonna die tomorrow. Maybe yes, but man, you wanna enjoy life. But in that moment, without that experience, everything sucks. Like, fuck, I need to keep paying my bills. I need to keep doing my stuff. I need to keep working. I need to keep training. But I don't have nothing now, you know. I was paying I need to keep paying the private school for my daughter, but I don't have money. I was putting my money, and now that's amazing because the investment started to grow up a lot. But in that moment, I spent that money, and I don't have that money, and I start to need it. And it's very frustrating to watch your app in your cell phone with your bank, and start to disappear the money, like, oh my goodness, it's coming.
What's happening?
It's coming in zeros. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That was crazy, and more and more problems start to come. And then, so my second daughter, she born in 2018.
Oh,
So so I needed to pay that too. Was insane, man. Was insane. A lot of people ask me, so how I passed that bad obstacle in my life. And first of all, I wasn't thinking in the future. I was like, my goodness, I don't know what happened in my future, what happened with UFC. I came back to the promotion, whatever. I was very focused in the present always, every single day. Like, okay, today I need to go to the gym to do this. Today I need to do that, whatever. I was always thinking in the present. That helps a lot. Other thing was, my family was with me a lot, was supporting me every single moment. Even my wife, she understood like all the bad situation we are like passing together. But just she support me every single moment. She never say like something like bad or whatever. And man, I don't tell you, but my older daughter, she start to got some problems in her stomach. So she needed a surgery. And I don't have money, man. First of all, but your daughter start to feel pain every single day, and you take her to the doctor, and the doctor doesn't know what is happening. And man, was my first daughter. I was like very scared every day, like about her. At the end, it was nothing like very serious, but for sure she needed the surgery. She got something in the intestines, so the doctor
like
needed
appendix.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
In Spanish, the name is ganglios. I don't know. It's the same in. Okay, she had something in the intestines, so the doctor needed to take out. So okay, in the moment when everything start to be fine with her, like okay, now she's fine. Now you need to pay the bill of the surgery. Like my goodness, I don't have the money. So yeah, man, I got a lot of support of my family. I was very focused on my present, and I don't know. I start to put more focus on the thing I can control. A lot of people start to think in things they can't control. Like, man, I can't control if right now it's raining, but I can control take a sweater with me. I don't know, an example. But yeah, so that was the key to keep going.
During that time, did the thought kind of creep in, well, maybe I should move on to something else from MMA, or just the entire time you're like, I'm going back to UFC, like this is my dream, this is what I'm going to do?
For sure, man. Every single morning in that moment was like, I don't want to wake up early again. Maybe I can go tomorrow. I feel tired today. All these crazy voices start to come to your mind. And that battlefield in your mind, you need to fight. You need to fight every day. So every single day in the morning when I start to feel like I don't want to go to the gym, like shut up.
Yeah.
Get up, eat your breakfast, and put your ass to work because you need it. You need it. But man, for sure, like a lot of like maybe I can stop with fighting and I can do other things. I don't know. A lot of bad things start to come to your mind, but you need to be strong.
What made you want to keep fighting? Was that just that moment in time made you want to keep fighting? Because you talked about how you didn't know if you want to keep fighting when that surgery was happening with your daughter and the bills and.
So yeah, you remember I had like a lot of money problems, right? I started to work with my management, with Jason, with Jacob, with all my Iridium Sports team. And I was like on the phone every single day sending messages to my manager, like, hey man, I need to get a fight. I need to fight right now because I don't have money, I'm broke, and I need to pay the bill of my daughter's surgery. So he was like, okay. He was like trying to get something for me. And I remember, for example, he got a fight for me in another promotion out of the UFC.
LFA, right?
Huh?
LFA?
So that was after. So he offered me a fight before that one. But the deal was terrible, and I needed to sign with that promotion for like 3 or 4 fights, but they will pay me like nothing, like fucking peanuts. But man, I was desperate. Like in that moment, I was like, okay, whatever, but I need money. Just give me the fight, and I will. But that's why I start to get a lot of respect of my manager, because a lot of managers is like, oh yes, just take the fight and shut up, and okay, we can get money. But he told me like, man, I have this fight for you, but I recommend you to wait a little bit more because this deal, I don't like this deal for you. I'm telling you this deal because this is my work to tell you about all the opportunities you are getting, but I don't recommend you, to be honest, to get this deal. And I said like, okay. So I decided to wait a little bit more, and then he offered me the fight in LFA, and everything started.
Yeah. You won a belt in that fight, right?
Yeah.
You won the fight.
I fought for the flyweight LFA belt. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
And so after that, the UFC just came crawling back and was like, "Hey, we want you again." Or that was kind of the time where the flyweight division was in like up in the air. Like, are we gonna get rid of it? Are we not?
That's why they caught me very easy, because when I fought and I lost against like very top high opponents. Like I fought against Sergio Perez, I lost, and he was the number 5, something like that in the ranking. Then I fought against Alex Pantoja. He was the number he was in the top 10 for sure. I don't remember the number, but I mean I fought against really high opponents in another situation. They will let me, keep fighting in the promotion. But yeah, in that moment they were trying to they cut all the division out. So that's why my name was very easy to cut, because I came from 2 losses. So I fought in LFA. My manager has an amazing relation with the UFC, so he was talking with them, and he told me like, "Hey man, like get this win, and we can do something huge in the next one. Maybe you can go back to the UFC." So I was very motivated for that too. So literal, I won the fight. I go back to I go out of the octagon. We went to the locker room, kind of locker room, because it was a kind of tent. But one night, I love LFA. LFA is amazing because he got me that opportunity to get the title in LFA in a important promotion. So that's why UFC watched the fight. And my manager Jason called the UFC, the matchmaker, like, "Hey man, like this guy is like he deserves to be still a UFC fighter." So yeah, literal, like after that, 2 weeks after, they sent me my contract again.
Wow.
So I was like, "Whoa, let's go!"
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah, man.
Who was your first fight back in the UFC for the second time against?
Was Askar Askarov, a Russian guy.
Okay.
yeah.
He was doing he was doing an amazing job in UFC. He was like winning fights against really top opponents. Then he lost the last one against Kai Kara France, and he was scheduled to fight soon, but he decided to retire because he say for health issues. He never say what happened with him, but he say health issues, so he retired.
Wow.
Yeah. And the next one was the first one against Kai Kara France. The next one, the first one against Askar Askarov was in Mexico City too, but was a draw. A lot of people. A lot of people thought I won that fight. A lot of like analysts and the people and whatever. Even I thought I won that fight, but it is what it is, right? When you go to the judges in a close fight, that can happen. So when I fought the first time against Kai Kara France, I felt like, okay, this one is the opportunity to show the world I deserve to be a UFC fighter. So I put all my effort to win that fight. I was on fire, and
a few more fights. You're fighting for the title.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after Kai Kara France, I fought against UCR Formiga, a really UFC veteran. In that moment, he was top 3, top 4 of the division, and I beat him in Brazil. In Brasilia, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. In the capital of the country. Then all the thing with the pandemic start to come, but my name was very close to the title, right? I don't know what really happened in that moment, but UFC decided to put Alex Perez for the title,
And you fought.
and I
Royale.
fought against
Brandon Royale.
Brandon Royal, and I beat him too. And that was the night when Figueiredo fought against Perez. Both were like very healthy, and we fought in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was like 3 weeks later, right?
Just 3 weeks later.
Wow. And it was in December.
Yeah, so we fought in November 2020, and the next fight was in December 2020.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
About December. And then next fight, you fight Davidson again. Second time. and that was in Arizona.
Yeah.
Got a dub. Congrats on that.
Thanks, man.
And then fought him again in Anaheim. Same thing. I thought you won the fight. We were there. We were there watching the fight, and I was like, I don't understand how they gave it to Davidson. Like, what? Then rematched it up with Kai again, and won again.
Yeah. So again, when you go to the judges in a close fight, it's hard to say who win, right? And the judges are human beings too, so they can make mistakes or whatever. And it's very it's very different when you watch the fight live. You have a whole different perspective than when you go to your home and put your fight pass or whatever and start to watch the replay, and you can see a whole different situation. It's crazy. So I understand the judges. I don't have like any bad feelings against them. I think they need to be a little bit more prepared sometimes. But okay, it is what it is. So I fought against him in Anaheim. I lost, and that moment started to make a lot of changes in my life again.
Burn moment,
for sure. Because remember, I told you I started training in Tijuana in a gym. Man, in that moment, I had like... I started there, so like 15, 16 years training in the same place, you know. I travel a lot for training to get more knowledge and experience, but at the end of the day, that was my gym, my main gym, like, you know, in Tijuana. So I lost the fight, and something inside of me told me like, hey man, you need to do some big changes, okay? Because, okay, you feel you won that fight in Anaheim against Figgy, but you know too, you made some mistakes, and you need to fix those mistakes. And I don't know, man. I decided to move all my training camp to another place. Thanks God that works too, because I was very scared, you know, because when you do a huge decision like that, you don't know what can happen in the future. You are making a jump to nothing, to nowhere, you know.
How hard was that change though from Tijuana? Because you came to Vegas, right?
So yes, so I bought my home here in Vegas in 2021 after the first fight against Figgy, but I was keep training in Tijuana, so I was moving forward between Vegas and Tijuana for training. But then after the fight in Anaheim, I completely moved to Vegas for training. And I was training here. And then I went to Glory MMA and Fitness in Kansas City to keep my official training camp there.
Was the coach James Krause?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So
okay.
In this past camp, you definitely had a burn moment inside of the camp where you had to switch camps. And so how kind of hard was that time, like being like, okay, I got to figure out a new camp while still trying to train to get my belt back?
So supposedly you need to be very focused just in your fight, right?
Yeah.
You need to be focused in your opponent and the game plan and the trainings, whatever. But man, all these things start to happen, and you know, I don't want to talk too much about the James situation. The people know. The people in this world knows what happened. But yes, I needed to switch camps again after to change my training camp in Tijuana, right? In that moment, I was talking with my coaches, you know, because my head coach was James in that moment, but I had my boxing coach, Capetillo in Vegas, my jiu-jitsu coach, Hector Vasquez in Vegas, and my Muay Thai coach, he lives in Puerto Vallarta in Mexico, but he come to Vegas to train with me. So I was talking with them, like, I mean, you know what, like, the good thing is before all these bad things start to happen, we made the game plan already, so we know what we need to do. We have an amazing people around. I have my training partners, so I think I can do it by myself. I don't wanna start to do all this long process to trying to find a new head coach. I think we are ready. So they support my decision. So we are like working here in Vegas in the Performance Institute. But then again, my manager Jason told me like, hey man, like I respect your decision. You are the boss here, but man, you need a guy with the enough experience because remember, you are going to Brazil. All these people were like screaming crazy things against you, the pressure, and you never know if the bad. Hopefully, I mean, you never want to that happens, but a bad moment in the middle of the fight, you need a guy with the mind like cold, giving you the right instructions. So that's why I decided, like, you know what, like, okay, maybe you have a real point there. So we start to work with Saif. He has a Fortis MMA in Dallas, Texas. He came with my manager and he started to talk with him like, hey man, like I know you're passing for a really bad moments right now. So if you need me, I'm here. I know Brandon is an amazing guy. I know you love Brandon. I love James too. I have a really good relation with him. So I'm here. I'm here to help. He came to Vegas to work with me to get on a one training session together. He started to tell me about the fight, what he thinks about all his thoughts, and you know, like okay. I decided to start to work with him. And man, he's an amazing coach too. He's really good.
This is before you fought Davidson again in Brazil.
Yeah, before
Last fight, yeah.
like 5 weeks before, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow, that's crazy.
Was very quick, and that's
Very
why.
quick. And how long is the fight camp? 12? Is it 12 weeks?
So it's crazy because I'm always training, man. Even right now when I don't have a fight, I train in the morning. I right now I'm in building season, so I'm lifting very heavy, whatever, and I'm doing my drills. I'm doing boxing, and I'm doing everything. But when you have a fight, you need to now to reschedule your trainings because you need to. Sometimes I'm trying to put more intensity in my training sessions, but do less training sessions. Like like normally I have like 2-3 training sessions maybe a day. But when I'm in official training camp, I don't want to burn my body, right?
Yeah.
So I'm start to do 1 or max 2 training sessions, but those 2 training sessions are very hard.
How many times do you spar? And
Before I was doing sparring like almost every single day, but now I'm it's crazy, I know. But no, now I'm doing like in a training camp I'm doing two sparring sessions. So 1 like boxing, like with like top boxers, really high intensity, and 1 MMA sparring.
Okay.
Do you think?
But I mean, you are adding the wrestling rolls and whatever, and you are adding the gloves and punches. It's
MMA
kind of
gloves.
sparring too. Yeah.
Do you think you'll ever move to a time where you don't spar at all during your training camps? Because you see like Max Holloway, he's like, oh, I don't spar, like I'm saving my brain.
Man, don't be confused. I love Max Holloway. I love his style. I love how the head movement. I love the position of his feet. But I think that's the difference between Volkanovski and Max Holloway. Volkanovski do sparring.
Yeah.
The timing you get doing a sparring is very important to me. That's why I'm still doing sparring, because before I was start to put more attention in that idea to maybe I need to do less sparring. Maybe I don't need it. Maybe I have the enough experience to don't do it. But man, the timing you get doing that is very important.
Also, sparring is the closest thing to a fight that you can get. So it's kind of important, but you don't want to do. I feel like, if I was a fighter, I'll probably spar like twice, maybe.
Okay.
Just like, feel it out and stuff. But I feel like sparring comes with so many injuries and.
For sure, but I mean, you need to be smart too.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so you can't start the training camp doing a crazy 5 rounds sparring. You can't, because for sure the injuries will come. You are putting your body in a high intensity. So you need to be smart. So you need to start like very slow, like doing like light sparring, touching, like kind of even just like drills. And then in the middle of the training camp, maybe you can put a little more high intensity. And at the end, like 2 weeks before 5 week, you need to have like at least 3 or 4 sessions like hard.
Good, like hard
Uh-huh.
intensity.
And then go again down.
When do you
Well-
start to feel the nerves for the fight? Like, say fight weeks, 2 weeks away. When do you start to feel like nervous? If you do feel nervous.
That's my secret, Capitan. I'm always nervous.
Okay.
Nah, man, but I mean, it's real. Like, you feel the pressure, man. I go again with the pressure because imagine this. So, you are fighting for a title. Starting from that, I mean, the title of the world title, right? Then you have a crazy, amazing opponent in front of you who he's trying to kill you with one punch, okay? Then he start to use social media and interviews talking shit about you. So he's putting more pressure on you because you don't want to lose against him. Then you have your own media responsibilities. You have interviews. I mean, the pressure just start to come to your life, man. I live in pressure every day. Even right now, sitting here, I feel the pressure of my next fight. Even if I don't know who is my next opponent. You know, I think it's Pantoja, but I mean, I don't have nothing official. I think he deserves it. But I mean, even right now, I feel the pressure. But again, the key is just try to keep calm in your life and enjoy life, because you are always like very distracted thinking about the fight, the work, and everything. But man, I need to enjoy my wife. I need to enjoy my daughters. Maybe get some vacation sometimes. I think it's important. It's important more in this era when you have social media. You have a lot of information around the world. You know.
Yeah.
Family over everything.
Yes, man, for sure. I mean, right now, I'm doing this just for my family because I think I prove a point in the world. Like, hey, I show you, world, I'm a really tough guy, okay? But I don't know. For sure, I have the desire to keep competing. Of course, I love to go to the fight. I love all the fight week, the social media, the interviews, whatever. But I'm doing this more for my kids. You know, I need to secure a good future for them, for sure.
What is it? What I'm so excited because I'm interviewing a
it,
fighter.
doing
But what is it like walking into the arena before your fight? What's going through your head? Are there any burn moments?
I'm just thinking, man, because sometimes, for example, that fight in Anaheim, I don't know why, but I feel like angry, but like crazy angry. I mean, but without control, like no control in that fight, like no control on my emotions. I wanted to kill that guy, like he's talking shit about me, so I want to exchange punches with him. I want to knock him out, but man, I lost. Why? You know, I think it was because I don't put control in my emotions. So, and in this last one, I was so calm, man. I was so relaxed. You know what? It was funny because I was singing as one song of my daughters.
During the fight?
Yeah, no. I mean, I was in the bus. I go out of the bus. I was like walking with the camera in front of me, and I was like just enjoy the moment. And I can see the replay. My wife was like very nervous, and I was like just singing, man.
So is your daughter a singer?
Like Baby Shark,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
remember
So
the
it's
song.
like-
Man.
Oh, it's like okay.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, now we got to move on to you. Unfortunate 2018 wasn't the greatest year, but I feel like that's really made you and really got you to where you are today. But moving into R stands for ridiculous. So it's kind of funny. I know you tons of fights, tons of media obligations, but was there like a ridiculous burn moment that you could share with us that you went through?
My media is a ridiculous moment always.
Yeah.
They always told me I can't stop to make stupid jokes. Even sometimes it's funny, and that's a kind of ridiculous for me because I'm trying to make jokes, and so my first language is Spanish. Sometimes I'm trying to show a kind of Mexican joke to an American culture, but the people don't connect with my joke because it's in another long language and in a whole different spirit. So the guy's like, I don't know what this guy is talking about, but in my mind is like I'm laughing so hard,
They
But
just look at you like,
yeah, whatever. But nah, the most part of the time they are getting fun with me. I mean, if you follow me in a regular fight week, all the staff from the UFC are getting fun. I love the staff from the UFC. I love the bodyguards. I love the all the blue shirt staff because they are amazing people.
Tate, the body or Tate's not a bodyguard, but he's like the cutman.
man.
Tate.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. I always see videos of him and like Jamal Hill always going back.
Man, that guy is crazy. I mean, he got a lot of fun with Jamal Hill and with Gilbert Burns.
Okay.
Yeah, so for example, they see each other and they start to wrestle in that moment. They start to wrestle. Da, 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 da. It's very funny to watch. And talking about me, I don't have like a specific ridiculous moment. For sure, if I start to really think about it, I can remember. But right now, I don't have any specific.
no fan asked you like some crazy like, can you do this for me? Like
Autograph.
Oh yeah. So like 1 month ago, I had a meet and greet. The 7-Eleven experience was the name here in Vegas, and one guy came with me, and a regular guy, man, like small, chubby, I don't know, regular guy. He came with me, take a picture, and he told me like, but I mean, you can see when it's a joke, and you can see when it's a kind of serious thing. But he come with me and he told me like, I think I can take you down. With this face, like serious face, like I was like, I don't know what I can say. Like maybe, man, congrats. and he just go.
you should have been like, try me.
Like, man, we can put the gloves if you want.
Then you could have double legged him.
So and another, I remember this. This is a good one. I was in Paris, France last year. And one guy, I was in a VIP experience. So the UFC take me there to spend time with the fans, with the VIP fans. And I was in the VIP lounge. So one guy come with me and said, "Hey, can I take a picture with you?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, of course." Like, man, I wanna be very honest with you. I bet against you with Figgy, the tier 1. Like, oh man, I mean, congrats, you won money. Congrats for that.
Why would he say that to you? Like what?
No, man, wait. Then, like 30 minutes later, the same guy came with me, asked me for another picture, and he told me like, "Man, I need to be more honest with you. I bet against you with Kai Kara France in the second one, but you're amazing, whatever." Like, man, just go out from here, man. That's it, man. That's it for me. And obviously, I in the moment, if you see it, it was very funny, man. It was
I don't
crazy.
even know how you respond to that. You can't just be like, "Oh, thanks." Like what? It's such an odd and awkward like scenario. I don't know.
It's just weird.
Yeah.
I don't know what the guys are expecting about me. Like, I don't know if they want to try to make me feel mad or whatever. And I have a few moments like that. Then in another meet and greet, the other guy came with me and said the same. Like, "Hey, I feel I can beat you." Like, man, congrats for that, man.
Yeah.
That's why you are in the UFC winning fights.
Exactly.
You'd be like,
Exactly.
"Oh, I don't see a UFC belt in your trophy room."
Man, I don't know, man. The people around the world is crazy, right? I understand.
There's some crazy people.
Nothing personal.
No.
Just crazy people.
We were actually in was that during the Tuivasa Gone fight whenever you're in Paris?
Yes.
We were actually at the London fight of Aspinall and Curtis Blades. And
Okay.
we were actually in the VIP experience room too. And me and him were sitting on this like countertop, like, I don't even know what you call it, just like a countertop thing, like drinking Coke and stuff
Okay.
like this. And we saw this guy and his friend, and they walk and they take a photo with Michael. Was it Michael?
I think it was
or-
Michael Chandler.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it was Michael Chandler. And then like they take a photo, they get back in line, and I'm watching these guys, and they go back, another photo with Chandler, And I'm like, okay, there's something going on. Walks again, another photo with Chandler. And I'm like, oh, I was like, this can't be real. This can't be real. And it was crazy. But I mean, it's
Man,
just.
I remember another one, and this one is very uncomfortable because maybe I'm part of the broadcast in Spanish for the UFC. I know you there, right?
Yeah, that's where we saw you on the desk.
After the event. So it's crazy because the broadcast in English, they are like very, very, like very private place, right? In front of the octagon, whatever. But us, because we're not the main broadcast, we are in the corner, just like in the fucking corner. Let's go, guys. Let's go, fucking Mexican Spain. So it's very uncomfortable because the people has a lot of really access with us.
Yeah, you like walk right past through
walking
it.
around, whatever. So man, it's crazy because a lot of people, and it's crazy because it's not just one time. It's a lot of different times, so many times. I'm like talking, I'm working on live on television, national television, international television because it's in Five Pass, and the people asking me for pictures in the middle of the transmission.
On the television.
So I'm talking with my play-by-play. I'm talking with him like da, 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 da. And this one guy here talking, hey brother, a picture, please, come on.
Could you hear it in the audio?
I can't hear him because I have the headphones, but I can see him. Like, and I started like, man, come on, I'm working. I'm live right now. I mean, you need to understand that, man. We'll be very fast. Come on. And then the bodyguards can go like, guys, come on.
Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna be talking like, hold on, wait, I need to take a photo. Like, what?
Man, that's insane, man. That's crazy. That's uncontrollable.
Oh gosh,
Those are some ridiculous moments. I feel like you go through those every single day with fans. Fans are crazy.
And it's crazy because, I mean, I'm not thinking about it all the day, but now you asking me start to try to remember, like, oh, man, that happened. Yeah.
And then whenever they start happening, like, oh, wait, that happened. And it starts clicking. Oh, that happened.
You know what is another crazy moment? So the same event in Paris, France. The people around me, I mean, know me. I don't like to talk too much. I don't like too much the attention or wherever. So I was in Paris, France, and I got an interview on the street in a really popular place in France with a lot of people. So imagine this. I'm talking with the woman who's like with the interview with me. I'm talking with her, and a guy with a huge, crazy camera follow me. So all the people start to watch us, like, hey, who is this guy? And asking, and you can see between the people, like, asking, hey, who is this guy? Talking each other, like, I mean, maybe for you it's like whatever, but for me it's like, I hate this.
Yeah.
I hate this.
Like, oh my gosh, that's Brandon. Oh my god.
Or maybe they don't know me, like maybe they don't know I'm like Brandon Moreno, whatever. But they're like, hey, who is this guy? And that's uncomfortable for me for sure.
For sure. Oh,
all right. Well, those are definitely a lot of ridiculous moments. Like I said, you probably go through those every single day, and now we're just reminding you of them. But moving on to N is like now and next, kind of like two parts. So what are some burn moments going on in your life right now? Obviously, you don't have a fight scheduled, but what are some fights that maybe are on the horizon?
My new burn target in my life is to keep my belt back. They keep the belt for me with me a long time. Last time, so I won the belt in Arizona, but I lost my first defense, and I felt very, very sad, very frustrated with myself, very disappointed because I mean, I worked so hard for that moment, and in the next fight I lost it. Like, come on, man. And it was crazy and very frustrated too because I put a lot of effort in my training camp for that fight. I think that was one of the problems. I put a lot of effort. Like, my training camp was very, very hard, and I burned my body. Literal, like I was like swelling all day, like very, very tired, very sore in every single training session. So maybe that was one of the problems for that fight too. So right now I'm very focused to be smart. I think it's the new era of Brandon Moreno, because I was putting a lot of hard fights, very entertaining fight for the people, and it's fine because I won a lot of fans, right? A lot of followers, whatever. But I mean, at the same time, I need to think about my career and my legacy. So I want to keep the belt. I want to keep fighting. I'm starting to think maybe after this, I want to keep my MMA legacy intact. Like I just wanna go off of the sport at the top, and then I don't know, man. Maybe I start to think about boxing in the future.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, my boxing coach is like, man, you can box, like really box. No against a fucking YouTuber. No against a no. You really can box with a professional real boxer. So I don't know, man.
Do you think that'd be soon?
Nah, not soon. A few more years. But I mean, that's something I'm interested in for sure.
Do you ever think you'll go up to 35 and go for champ status?
You know what? A lot of people ask me that, but I mean, my body is perfect for 125.
Five? Okay.
You know?
So stay at that.
Yes, I have an amazing weight cut to 125 because it's hard to do it, but it's not that crazy hard. So I can keep my energy for the fight and still recover a good weight in the moment when I step in the octagon. So 125, the guys are huge, man.
Yeah.
I trained before with Aljamain Sterling, with Dominic Cruz, with Chito Vera, with TJ Dillashaw, with other 135, with Dwalish Bailey. But these guys are like different. Their body is different. So I have a good reach for the division.
Okay.
But I don't know, man. The future can talk.
For sure.
So is Pantoja next?
I mean, man, the people need to understand. Actually, he needs to understand I'm not even decide who is the next.
I know. I saw the video. He was literally like bugging you after your fight. Like, when are we fighting? And you're like, dude, just let me
let me enjoy the moment.
Man, I mean, everything started very friendly. Like, he come with me, very respectful. Like, hey, man, right now is your moment. I'm very happy for you. And in that point, everything was nice, right? Like, oh, wow, that's cool. That's very cool. But then he started to be very intense with, hey, but tell me when we can fight? When we can fight? Tell me right now. Like, man, I don't even know, man. I finished my fight like 10 minutes ago, so I don't even know. I told him, like, man, just let me enjoy this little moment, just right now, okay? I already told you you're the next. I think you deserve it, but man, just let me enjoy the moment. But he started to get like very intense again, like, hey, didn't tell me. Then the bodyguard from the UFC, like, hey, man, like, just get out, like,
yeah, go away.
But man, if you ask me, like, I think he deserves it. I think he's the next. I've been talking with the UFC, so hopefully I can get a fight in July. I want to fight here in international fight. I would love to do it. I asked for that pay-per-view last year. They say no. Actually, they gave me the next pay-per-view. So was international fight with the first.
Was it the Pena card? The next one where you were under?
Yeah. So it was fight week in the first week of July. So they gave me the next pay-per-view in Dallas against Kai Kara France, July 30. Yeah.
That's right.
How important is it to you to get that fight back with Pantoja? Because you lost him on the Ultimate Fighter, then you lost to him in the UFC. Like, is it just dying to you? Like, man, I gotta get that one back. Or are you just like chilling about it? Like,
he's
whatever.
He's just chilling.
Maybe. I mean, that competitive part of myself. For sure, he's saying like, hey, I want to fight against him and I want to beat him because he beat me before, right? And I think like 4 years ago, I was like that. Like, I was like very angry with myself. Like, oh, come on, I want to fight against this guy again. I want the rematch, and just angry about it. But right now, I'm very relaxed. I wanna fight against him, not just for beat him. I wanna fight against him to see my own abilities, to to see all my evolution in the sport. Okay, and I think that can be really a huge thing for my legacy. Imagine, I mean, I beat the guy who beat me twice in the past. I think it's another good step for my legacy. I mean, I come from a crazy rivalry, historic fourth fight against Davison Figueiredo, and now I have the possibility to beat Alexander Pantoja, who beat me before. So
speaking of 4 fights, how hard is it to fight someone 4 times? Is it like different each time, or is it the same?
No. It's for sure it's hard. Because imagine, I mean, I spent 2 years thinking in the same guy. You know, everything started in December 2020 and everything finished in January 2023. So it was like, 2 years, right? Like 2 years thinking in the same guy, thinking in the game plan against Davison Figueiredo. He know me, I know him. For sure, it's very stressful. Very stressful. That's another thing maybe that can affect my performance in Anaheim. Like, I need to fight against this guy.
Yeah.
You know, boring about the same game plan, the same like kind of, the same opponent. But I don't know. It's about experience. It's about to keep calm in comfortable moment, like I say before. When I got the 4th fight against Davison, I was like, man, I think this is the last one. That's why I was thinking like, this is the last dance with each other. Because I knew if like, hey, I need to make a statement in this one to prove the world who's the best, and you will never see that guy again.
You think it's done, completely done? That chapter?
Yeah. I mean, he's going to 135.
Yeah.
My plan is to stay in 125 for sure. So yeah, for sure, I think it's over.
So what about this scenario? What if he goes
Let's go.
135?
I love.
135. He becomes a champ. Are you going up for the 5th time?
I think he can't be the champ
think
in
he was-
135 because his advantage in 125 was his weight cut, his body. In the moment when he went to the fight, he recovered a lot of weight and he was like bigger than all the competition. He always was bigger than me, than like Alex Perez, than Benavides, you know. But he doesn't have that advantage in 135, man. And he doesn't have the reach, at least for the Division 2. So I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Obviously,
I mean, I'll be curious.
You look at a matchup with him versus Sean O'Malley, and it's just like, whoa, it's not good.
It's not good, man. I mean,
No brainer.
And he's not.
No bueno. See, you need to help me with my Spanish.
That is even
bueno.
racist. Nah, just kidding.
No, literally, I'm not even joking. So I have to take Spanish at school and stuff, and literally no idea what I'm doing. I'm sitting there. I'm like, I'm writing down something. I'm like, okay, what does this mean? Pull up Google Translate.
Yeah,
but I mean, geez,
I just make fun with that because in this new life everything is racist.
Everything is racist.
So I make fun about it. But yes, man. So Davison, he's very tough. He will have a very funny fights in the bantamweight division, but I don't think it's enough to get the title.
for sure.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much. You just spelt burn in your life. Tell the audience where they can find you, Instagram, all your platforms.
Guys, you can follow me in Instagram. You can follow me in TikTok. I mean, I'm terrible in social media, man. I'm terrible, but I'm doing my best. I promise. I opened my OnlyFans. I'm not naked. Sorry, but I'm putting like tutorials, technique, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can follow me there and in Facebook and whatever. I don't have TikTok. I don't have Twitter.
Twitter. Yeah.
I hate Twitter. It's terrible.
I don't understand it still. I haven't. I don't even know what I'm doing.
I think you just put your thoughts in a message, but the problem is the thoughts of the people right now. I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, you heard the champ. Go give him some love. As a gift for coming on the podcast, we will be giving you the Black Label Edition Burn Factory hoodie right here.
Woohoo! Let's go.
And the hat. Only guests can get these who are on the podcast.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Man,
Reserved
thank
for
you.
you.
Let's go, guys. Thank you so
Yes, sir.
much. Really
Yes, sir.
appreciate it.
Gosh, I had so many brain,
Nice.
I had so many brain burn moments on this episode. can't speak my Spanish. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I'm joking. But thank you, Brandon, for coming on this podcast.
Guys, thank
I really
you so much.
appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much for your time too, and for the gifts. And we have an amazing talk each other.
Yes, for
thank
sure.
you.
Like always, please visit my foundation at priestjamesfoundation.org. Again, priestjamesfoundation.org to understand why this is called the Burn Factory. Come on, give me some love. Please donate so I can go build more putting greens at these hospitals because it would truly mean a lot.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe at the Burn Factory podcast. And we'll see you guys for the next episode. Peace.
Brandon Moreno, the champ, just felt burn in his life, doing a little dance with the belt. But Brandon, as a person coming on the podcast, you do have to call someone out. Like the champ always calls out someone. So who are you gonna call out to come on the Burn Factory podcast?
Chito, let's go.
Chito.
Chito
Vera.
Vera.
You need to
Chito,
come here,
bro.
we are getting an amazing time talking to each other. So you're the next, my man.
Cheeto, come on the Burn Factory. Start burning your life. Let's go.